All right, guys, what is going on? Welcome to the Q&A on my channel. It's presented to you by me, my sciatica, and HD Muscle. Use code SEB for 10% off, or is it 15% off? I think it's 15% off any order. Grant's got some questions here that he's going to read off, and we're just going to run through them. So let's get right into it.
All right, so there's multiple people through this Q&A box and on your last post. They are wondering how the possibility of you being on fake gear for so long, and especially since you're with Phil, he's a good coach. They were nicely put, and then one guy was just like, "Bro, stop capping." Like he knows, like
Thinks I'm lying.
thinks you lying. So
Thinks
like,
I'm lying about fake gear.
yeah, bro.
I wish I was lying. I wish. I answered this on TikTok a couple of days ago, and it's to understand. You have to like put a lot of things into perspective. So I guess we could run through it. Yeah, we'll do it briefly. Hey, shut that alarm off. You're fucking with the Q&A. To understand this, you gotta like see it from my perspective. So we gotta go all the way back to 2022. I did a show, and at that point in time, I was on real gear. And then I started getting, bad symptoms. I was just like, I felt like shit. So we came off of everything. I went down to TRT. This is before I was ever with Phil. And then I moved to Florida. And once I moved to Florida is when I switched to this new source of what was the fake gear, right? And from that point on, I was cruising. I was on TRT, and we slowly started to titrate, bring more PEDs into the mix, titrate those drugs up. We also had growth hormone in there. And about 8 weeks into that is when I started getting those autoimmune reactions from the growth hormone. And the growth hormone was pharmaceutical, so obviously that was the one thing that was real, and it's what made me sick. But in that 8-week time frame that I was coming back from when I started using that new source of gear, that's like not enough time for me to really be able to distinguish whether or not I was really getting the results that you would get from what I thought I was taking, because I was also coming from a very depleted state. I was coming right out of prep. I was just on TRT. So like me just eating again and getting back into, a bulking phase, I was still, getting bigger and responding in that short, 6-8 week time frame, whatever it wasn't long. And I was also on real growth hormone too. So that was also playing a part. And then I got sick, and I came off of everything for 3 months and didn't lift at all. So then now I'm not on TRT, on nothing. Testosterone's completely crashed. And I'm way smaller. I lose like 30 pounds. So at this point, when I start training again, this is when I linked up with Phil. I still have the same source of gear, but now, again, I'm back in the same spot where I'm in a super depleted, very small state. So me taking anything, me even just lifting or eating again, I was going to get bigger and respond. It doesn't matter if it was, what I thought I was taking or what it wasn't. Like, I was still getting results, but it was only up to like a certain point. So it's like, it's not like I could have just been able to pinpoint I'm not getting back to where I was in my last off season just because it's the source of gear, because there were so many other variables to take into account, right? Like, and we were looking for solutions in the wrong areas because I had so much confidence in that source of gear to begin with because of all the people that I knew that were taking it. A lot of you guys know there's a lot of top pros, Olympians that were using this source. This is a very well-known source, and he fucked a lot of people over, and a lot of people ended up using fake shit. But point is that I had a lot of confidence in it because of the people that I knew that were taking it. And if you guys...
You thought it was reputable?
Yeah, I thought it was reputable. Like, there was no reason for me to question. Like, there's no way this guy and that guy could possibly use a fake gear. Like, it wasn't even a thought in my head that it just wasn't possible. So I had that conversation with Phil multiple times, so it's definitely not Phil's fault, because Phil would always address that with me, like, make sure your shit's real, and I'd be like, just trust me. I know it's fucking real.
You shouldn't have trusted you.
Even when my blood work came back and I was on, over like 900 tests at that time, plus other shit, and my testosterone came back at like mid to low 2,000 nanogram per deciliter. I know some people might hear that and think, oh, that's high, but like, it's not. That's what my testosterone. Yeah, no, that's what. Higher. Well, that's what my testosterone sits at when I'm on like TRT.
Yeah.
And I just know that from past experience, and I overlooked that red flag like an idiot just because it was when I was coming back into things, and there was just all the other variables, and I was just like, there's no way. Like, I just disregarded it. It was being stupid.
A big distinction though is the fact that like when people hear fake gear, they think it's just like that
I was just shooting blanks.
Yeah, but like it's like it is what it. I mean, it is a compound of something. You don't know exactly if it, since it's fake, but like it's also diluted.
Yeah,
in a sense,
so
it's not that it's like bunk.
It's not like I was taking nothing. Obviously, I was taking some shit. It's according to my bloods, it probably was a little bit more than what I would have been taking on a cruise phase. So it's like I was basically like in a higher range that I would have been on TRT for that entire off season. And so we know that it was definitely underdosed. I don't know if all the compounds were actually what they thought they were, because things like Primo often get faked for like Masteron or just more tests and shit like that. So I don't know. I doubt that some of the things were what I thought they actually were. I never got any of the stuff actually tested, and it was just ended up not being what I thought it was. So I didn't get the results that we were looking for, and I ran that stuff all the way into halfway through prep, and then halfway through prep, what really just set it off was, in my past experience, every time I've ran tren, there's always been like a aftertaste in my mouth that tastes like metal, and that doesn't mean that the trend's like real or fake or not. It's just something that I've always taken note of. So I addressed that with Phil, and I was like, "This is like weird. Like, what do you think about this?" And he just immediately started asking people because he already had suspicions that it was fake, and he asked some guy, someone that you all know, and he immediately knew who the source was. He had gotten fake shit from him before. He knew other pros that had gotten fake shit from him. So at that point, it was pretty much like confirmed that this source was giving fake or underdosed gear to a lot of people. And then we switched over to a different source, and immediately, within 2-3 weeks, I was building muscle at a rapid pace in fucking prep, and my strength shot up through the roof, literally in those 2-3 weeks. So that alone, just from switching the source and running the same compounds, that told me right there that I wasn't taking what I thought I was. So yeah, I guess moral of the story is don't overlook shit, even if you think a source is reputable. It doesn't always mean it is. A lot of people get fucked over. A lot of people do a lot of shitty shit. At the end of the day, the source was giving us stuff that was honestly too good to be true. We were getting 20 milliliter vials for like $80-$90, and just like, wow, this is great. And there's a reason why it was great, because it was fucking underdosed. But there you go.
Hey man, hope you're still doing well.
Yeah. Yeah.
Someone wanted to know what helped your mindset the most during prep in terms of staying calm, because he is about to start a prep.
What helped my mindset the most during prep was really just keeping myself busy. I work from home, so going out, like you guys saw in the beginning, as I got deeper in prep, I stayed home more. I was doing work while I was doing cardio and stuff, but going out, doing my work at Starbucks and stuff, like just keeping my mind busy and not having the opportunity to sit down and like get into my head and crave food and all those things. Also, I have Marissa here, and that's a huge thing. A lot of people say that girlfriends are distractions, and they very well can be, or they can be, a very good support system. So if you have one that's a good support system, that will help a lot. Somebody who can help keep you grounded, be there for you, help alleviate stress. That's a big factor for me, and it's something that your significant other has to understand and really be aligned with to help you get there. But I mean, yeah, it's just keeping yourself busy, and a lot of things that I've practiced. I mean, I've talked about this a lot. Is like, I say meditation. It's not like I'm sitting there like meditating, but it's just knowing how to ground myself and focus on the present moment and not get caught up in other shit going on around me. And that transfers over to everything in life. Relationships, any altercations, social media, shit like that. Like, just not getting bothered by shit that doesn't matter as to what's affecting you right now in this moment. So that's something that I am very big on, whether it's in prep or just any fucking day of the year.
That's a good response.
Read The Power of Now.
Not sponsored.
Not sponsored.
Not sponsored, but all right, next kid. He claims he trains hard and he tends to puke time to time. Is that good or bad?
I don't want to say it's definitely like it can be both, right? I think you need to find the thresholds. Like, I think you need to train hard. I think you need to have those sessions where you fucking puke. Like, you need to know how far you could go and understand, like, you're pushing your limits. Because I can honestly say, if you've never puked from a workout before, like, have you puked from a workout before?
Yes.
Yeah, like, if you've never puked from a workout before, I don't think you understand what it's like to actually train hard. And I say that, I'll never back down on that statement. I say that 100%.
Dude, it's always legs.
Yeah, legs. If you've never puked from a leg workout, you have never trained legs with true intensity. And the thing is like, you don't want that to happen every time, and the ways you mitigate that is by, being properly digested when you fucking go to the gym, not eating right before, knowing the threshold. But in order to know the threshold, like, you need to experience it first. So you don't want that to happen, ideally, and you also want to pace yourself during a workout, like not constantly rush yourself like you're doing cardio and do set after set after set and make yourself throw up. But if you're not used to training, with that type of intensity, you're going to have those sessions. But as you push yourself to do that over and over again, you will adapt. You'll know the threshold. You'll know I should probably wait another minute before this set, because if I do this set right now, I'm going to puke. So just hold off on it. It's not going anywhere. You just get better at training over time. But I think, you need to experience that in order to really to become the best bodybuilder that you can be, or just trainee at the gym.
I'd say like 3 questions that I see right now, like they're all connected. So the first one is, have you ever been injured? So obviously Yes.
Yes.
Second question is, how do you manage your sciatica? Which means this kid is following, so shout out to him. And then the third one is, what is your path for recovery at this point? So
That's a fucking loaded question. So I'm actually getting another MRI soon. They're scheduling it, so we're going to see, because I think the herniation has gotten worse. About a year and a half ago, I got an MRI because I've been dealing with sciatica pain since I was 16. So 8 years now, I've had this chronic sciatica pain in my
what
left
caused
leg.
it?
It was caused by doing deadlifts with, it was doing speed RDLs from a West Side barbell program with bands. And I was using the hexagon plates at Retro.
Fuck those.
And I don't know. I still see people deadlift with those, and I always tell people, like, never deadlift with those, because what happens is they twist, and if one point hits the floor before the other, it throws you off, it ricochets, and that little bounce, and especially because my spine is slightly curved, I didn't know that at the time, but it causes you to overcompensate, and that little shift, like, that's when shit could go wrong, and that's when I herniated my disc, and we didn't know it at the time. I thought I had piriformis syndrome for years, so I just got tissue work and tissue work and tissue work. And if you do have piriformis syndrome, the stretches and the tissue work will help. But it never helped me. It helped manage the pain to some extent, and I learned a lot. But really, the root cause was this disc herniation that got worse and worse over years. So the things that I do now is decompression therapy, a lot of chiropractic work. I still do tissue work. I do PT now for the spine. It's called the Schroth method or something. I just started doing that, and I'm also going to go start seeing a guy here that you guys will probably see in the upcoming videos, that we're doing a lot of stuff for pain management. But there's a lot of stuff that I have to do, and I'm still in the process of really figuring out, how we can fully alleviate it. But like I said, the things I do on the daily basis, I lay on like these foam blocks that help alleviate the compression on this side. I do the stretches, I do the tissue work. Yeah, so stuff like this. I just literally just put this in the left side because that's where the disc extrusion is. And my assumption is, because if I lay on this for 15 minutes, the sciatic pain will be alleviated. So I'm assuming that helps with the way that the disc is extruded on the left side. It helps kind of press it off the nerve a bit temporarily. But it's just being smart in the gym, not letting my ego get in the way, not doing stupid things, because one stupid thing can, irritate it for weeks on end. It's a process. You got to figure out what the root cause is, and ultimately the only real way to know is to get an MRI. So if it's something you've been dealing with for a long time and you've addressed the piriformis stuff and all those stretches, I would definitely consider getting an MRI and not holding it off for 6 years like I did. Because if I would have gotten that when I was 16, I probably honestly would have had this fixed by now, honestly. Like, even if I took like 2 years to just address it, it would have I would probably be in a much better position now, because I would have known what to do a lot earlier. But yeah, it's fucked.
So what are your plans for 2024? Do you think you're going to be able to then compete again, or are you just going to wait till 2025?
As of right now, I really don't see myself competing in 2024. I don't know. It's really, the priority right now is fixing the injury, because I had the sciatic nerve, the sciatica in my left leg for 7 years, and then all of a sudden it's on the right side. It's on both legs now this past summer, and it's much worse on the right side. So I'm assuming, that's why I'm getting another MRI, that the disc moved around. The extrusion is probably worse, and that's why I have this constant nerve irritation on the right leg now, and it's just constant throughout the day, 24/7, and I manage it pretty well, but I need to get a hold on that and make that a priority, because otherwise, if I continue to cause it to get worse through whatever I'm doing and just not addressing it properly, I'm probably gonna end up like fucking Ronnie Coleman and just speed run an end to my career. So
yeah, buddy.
My priority is longevity, and I need to get a hold on all of this first before I even decide to compete. Because when you compete and you feel depleted like that, like, it gets worse. Your body just doesn't have enough energy, and you just feel like shit. Like, every day I would pose, every single day I pose, I feel in extreme pain. Like, I'm just stiff, my nerves hurt. It's just terrible.
How do you even explain that?
Yeah, I don't know how you explain it. It's like, there's no way to relate to someone unless they've really experienced it.
Yeah, like they know the pain.
Yeah. It sucks. But that's the priority right now. And then once you get a hold on that, then we'll decide when we're going to compete. And if anything, it just gives me more time to grow either way.
Are you going to grow, though, through this recovery process?
Well, once I get the MRI, I'll have a better idea of what we're actually working with at this point. But the other guy that I just started seeing is really good.
Cool. This is the guy in Voorhees?
He's the guy in Voorhees. He's the guy that Nick goes to.
Oh, okay, cool.
So
Film that Saturday, right?
Yeah, I'm going on probably every Saturday for now.
Okay, cool.
So along with that, just doing the decompression consistently and all this stuff, I'm assuming I really just need the pain to go away. Like, I don't need it to be completely healed, but I need the pain to subside
Just so you can function.
Yeah, just so I can function like a normal human.
So, if someone wants to expand their knowledge regarding fitness, what are your go-to recommendations? Are there any sources, books?
Yeah, my YouTube channel. No, I've posted a lot of this before too. You know, I have a book over there. It's called How to Be Your Own Bodybuilding Coach by Scott Stevenson. It's a great book. Anybody that wants to be a coach or just really, learn more about bodybuilding, it's definitely something I would look into getting.
What about that Encyclopedia of Bodybuilding by Arnold Schwarzenegger?
Honestly, that book is trash. But I feel like if you're just a bodybuilder, everybody has to have it.
Dude, I have that in my place too.
I've had that for 10 years. I don't think I've ever read more than a couple pages of it. J3U.
Oh yeah, he's good too.
J3U is good. I have a code. Code Sebastian will get you some money off that because it's pretty fucking expensive. So
10%?
5%.
5%.
Sebastian 5. Sebastian 5 is the code. It'll get you 5% off.
Your full name or just Seb?
Sebastian 5. And
Wow.
they open for enrollment the beginning of every month for a couple of days, and then they close this. But there's so much shit in there, and I've posted videos on TikTok that you could literally just look up like Sebastian Burke or J3U, and I show what's actually inside the
app.
Yeah, inside the app. Like, it's just a bunch of lessons and modules, and there's just so much information in there, and there's like anybody that wants to get into coaching or just learn more, like you're going to learn more by going through that, and you have access to the whole forum where you could really ask anything, and John and other coaches will respond, and it's just a really good platform to have access to. And then on top of that, I have Brass Tech Bodybuilding, the podcast. I need to do more of those, but there's tons of podcasts. Fuad has the Real Bodybuilding podcast where he's had tons of coaches and doctors come on, and just listening to those and absorbing information. I don't know the other podcast. There's Real Bodybuilding Media. Do you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, I know what you're talking about. Yep.
Is that what it's called?
Yeah.
Big Bodybuilding? Think Big Bodybuilding.
Think Big Bodybuilding.
Yeah, there's a few podcasts. Again, I've literally posted a bunch of sources on TikTok, but yeah, YouTube, huge platform.
YouTube University.
Yeah, YouTube University.
That's fine. So, YouTube, social platform. Let's talk about another social platform. How do you think the industry would be different as of right now if TikTok wasn't so popular or just didn't become a thing? Would it be better? Would it be worse?
I think it would be better. I don't know.
Like, look at it from both realms. Because
I got to look at it from both realms. I think it would be better in the eyes of every single person that actually respects bodybuilding, because we just extinguish all those motherfuckers. But at the same time, TikTok has given a lot of people opportunities. I've made a lot of fucking money from TikTok.
Yeah.
It's also helped people learn a lot, but it's also made people really fucking dumb. But it's like you have both ends of the spectrum.
Yeah.
It comes down to really the individual. When you take, I don't know what the percentages are, but if I had to throw a percentage out there, I would say, I would say like maybe
lowball it.
You want me to lowball it?
Lowball it.
Lowball it?
Please. Don't get canceled.
Oh, lowball the bad one.
Yeah.
My lowballing the bad one is that like 75% of people are not capable of critical thinking. 25% are maybe. So that's what it just comes down to. You give all this information, you give so much information that all these people have access to. Not everybody's going to be able to handle it. They can't comprehend it. I've had so many people just take things I say out of context and not be able to understand it and misinterpret it. Same thing with all these other creators. I see it happen to Paul all the time. I see it happen to Phil all the time. People just take things. They have selective hearing. They take what they want and they run with it. I've seen people write forums about me saying shit that I literally have never said before, and it's just
it fits their mold.
It fits their mold. And I don't know if people just do that because they're fucking.
They got something.
I think people do it because, like, one day, I think people just make shit up, but I also think people do it because they just genuinely don't understand and they get confused. But it's provided a lot of good information, but at the same time, it's given a lot of people voices. I don't want to say this either because it's kind of like a dictatorship kind of thing. But a lot of these people shouldn't have fucking voices. Like, you should not have people that have been training for 2 years being able to give educational information on a fucking platform.
I agree with that. No, I agree with that a lot. Just because there's, especially with coaching, I feel like coaching is now a very saturated realm. You'll have competitors, they literally just competed for the first time, and immediately you see they open up slots for coaching. And
well, we have people that have never even competed. It's like
in my head, it's just like, how much knowledge do you really possess? Like, don't get me wrong, because there might be some individuals out there that do have knowledge. Like, for example, what is Phil's friend's name? It's one of his apprentices.
Dane?
Not Dane, the other one. He was backstage with us.
Oh,
you know who I'm talking about.
I don't know why the fuck I can't.
He coaches girls.
Yeah, he coaches.
But so hear me out. So he has never competed, has he?
I don't know.
Let's just say he hasn't, right?
Yeah.
But let's say he then wants to decide to compete.
Yeah.
First time ever, but he already had the knowledge first. So like, I've seen that scenario too. But more times than not, I see the scenario. It's like, oh yeah, I just finished my first prep. Let me coach some people. Like, bro, like the only knowledge you have is from your coach. And more times than not, your coach is probably a dumbass.
Yeah, but I mean, that's definitely a problem that we have. But like, it's not like people don't even get that far with TikTok. That's why I call it the Dunning-Kruger app because everybody thinks they're way fucking smarter than they are because they have access to all this information. It's all it's all short form content. Like you can't learn that much off TikTok. You can learn some things, but you really have to do research on your own. Go dive into longer form content and just learn more in depth. And people watch these videos, they take things, they run around, and they just regurgitate it because they see that it's a way for them to gain followers and, potentially make something for themselves. So they think, I'm just going to repeat what I said here, even though I have no idea what this even means or what I'm talking about, and just, regurgitate that. We saw it all the time with exercise science and saying, these movements aren't good for your back, don't do this. And people, make these black and white statements and have so much conviction in what they're saying, and these people have so much confidence when they don't have the experience. They've been training for a couple of years, and it's like, who are you to really say these things? And then they come together as a cult, right?
Yes.
And it's all these fucking nerds that really fucking have no experience, and we know what we're talking about because you don't need to have experience to talk about these things. You could read studies, you could do this. You need experience. I don't know. I could rant about this forever, but
because think about it like this: imagine a person that he's a tradesman, but he learns a new vocation, car mechanic. He only has learned through visuals and books.
People don't understand the bigger picture.
You need to work with your hands.
Yeah.
It's
just these things are just not black and white, and so many people try to make them seem like they're black and white on that app.
The
and
human body isn't black and white.
No, it's also because it's either black or white, but but
I'm yellow, motherfucker.
Yeah, you're yellow. Get away from Kodak. He's afraid of you. But it's what was I even just saying? You just threw me off.
You threw yourself off with the line.
I had a punchline. Fucking fuck TikTok. Yeah, I mean that's it. I don't know. It's good and it has its bad. Just be a smart person and think for yourself and don't fall into the categories. I had a kid yesterday trying to argue with me. It's this is why people get blocked because I can't even entertain it. It's why are you 17 years old trying to argue with people that are 25, 30 years old and have been doing this for 10 years?
Yeah.
And you've been watching TikToks for the past year and in the gym. It's oh, this guy doesn't know how to train. He's doing too much volume. What do you even... Why? I just don't understand where the audacity even comes from. I don't understand it. When I was younger, I would never question anybody. It sounds you could question people, but to blatantly go on somebody who's providing information and act like you know more when you're not in any position to argue with that person, you got to realize that you're not in that position. You have to have self-awareness. I just think they're not self-aware, and it's just because of the environment that they're raising. When we were younger, social media wasn't as big, I guess, and I just would never do that to somebody. Even if I didn't agree with it, I would just take what they say, do my research, think for myself, absorb knowledge, soak it in, put the pieces together, and learn over time and distinguish what's bullshit and what's not. And you learn that through experience and through doing your own research, But
it's work.
It's work. It's a long journey. People just want to think they know it all.
They just want to be famous.
Yeah, so they all want to be famous. They all want to be... I don't want to be Paris Hilton. I don't know. Paris Hilton was the first viral celebrity.
Can the reverse be more important than the prep? This is an easy one. Rapid fire here. Let's go.
The question doesn't even make sense.
Exactly. Rapid fire here. Let's go.
The question makes no sense. The prep, what do you mean? The reverse is going to help you win the show. The prep is what matters for the fucking show.
So I'm assuming the way, because I could speak this language, what they just spoke.
What, Chinese?
yeah. Ni hao. Ni hao Kai Lan.
That was a good show.
It's basically two forms of dieting. You have your prep diet, and then right after the show, you have your reverse diet. Can that be more important for your health rather than the prep itself?
More important for your health?
Yes.
Having a controlled good reverse? Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, of course. If you go off the fucking rails and...
You get edema, high blood
pressure, and fucking blow your kidneys out.
Don't you think that should be common sense?
Yeah. I mean, I don't know if it is common sense. I think everybody goes through that phase, though, where they just go crazy after prep.
I guess.
What do you mean you did it? I did it.
Yeah, you did it. I did it, but like, not to the extreme.
I think the extreme is also like a genetic. There's like a genetic factor to it too. Like I think some people can go like a lot crazier than others and like not get those effects to the same extent. Other people will just fucking blow up and be absolutely fucked. But I mean, obviously, yes, having control reverse coming out of a prep is important to be healthy, 100%. But I wouldn't say it's more important than the prep. Those are two entirely different things.
All right. So, how would you increase someone's appetite without them throwing up?
How would I increase their appetite without them throwing up?
Yeah.
That's a loaded question. You got to just design a fucking entire diet that they can, be able to handle comfortably and build upon that and taper over time. It's like same thing with the gym. Like it's progressive overload. Like you acclimate, you get adapted to a load of weight, you get adapted to eating over time, and you build upon that, and you go to what you could tolerate. Again, I think this is like one of those things where it's like when you're getting into it, like, and you learn how to really push yourself and force food. Same thing with like going hard in the gym, like. You're going to have times where you're probably going to fucking throw up or feel like you're going to throw up. It depends on the person, how big your appetite is. Some people would just fucking inhale food like there's no tomorrow without an issue. Then there was me who would throw up every day before school by trying to eat 2 cups of oatmeal. But
that's disgusting.
It was disgusting. I would eat
That's
2 cups.
160 grams of oats.
I would eat 2 cups of dry oatmeal every morning before school.
Dry?
Dry.
Why dry?
I would put a little bit of milk in it just so it was like a little condensed. Just a little bit. I wouldn't cook it or anything. Because I thought it would go down faster. And almost every morning, I would throw up before I got on the bus. I was like, I got to force. Because that was like when bodybuilding, it was different. There wasn't a lot of, it wasn't like it is now. The information that was on YouTube was all like motivational shit. It's like, you got to eat like a fucking dog. Like, you got to fucking do what it takes. I'm like, you got to fucking eat.
Like
eat real fucking food. I'm going to eat real food. I'm eating fucking. I saw Mike O'Hearn eat 2 cups of fucking dry oatmeal every day on his fucking Snapchat stories, eating dry oatmeal and duck eggs. Like all right, like this is what we got to do. But I mean, even when aside from that, like if you don't have a big appetite, like you're gonna feel like shit. You got to get used to it. You got to start small. I think a lot of people think, because this is another thing that was a big thing when I was younger, is guys would go around saying you need to eat at least 3,500 calories of bulk. And that's not the case for everybody. Like, not everybody needs to eat a set amount. Like, a lot of people eat way more than they actually do need to grow, and they end up just getting fat. Yeah. That's what we see in the majority of kids, especially, these fitness kids that get into bodybuilding. They all just go off the rails, dirty bulk, and think they need to eat 5,000 calories when they don't. They'd probably grow off 2,600 calories, honestly, most of them. And I've had plenty of clients that literally have blown up eating 2,700 fucking calories. And it just depends on the person, and that's why you start small, see how you respond, build up after a few weeks, and try to keep your appetite good. Have carbs lower, carb cycle on rest days. This is all. You can get very deep into this. It's just having a good protocol in place.
Yeah, bro. You know what's crazy?
What?
The more advanced you get into training and bodybuilding, at least for me, this is how I feel. If you told me I could blow up off of 2,700 calories, I'm fucking there, dude. Like not having to eat that much, and you could focus on doing other important shit. Because that's another thing.
But some people do. Some people literally, I've had clients that need to eat over 4,000 calories. They're just fucking skinny,
hell.
Lanky motherfuckers, and the other kids
hell.
That is hell. That is hell. It sucks.
Dude,
but
fuck that.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of these guys, especially you're small, you're younger, like you probably don't need to eat that much.
No, because dude, I'm at the point right now. If I don't eat over like 3,200 calories, I'll start losing weight. I hate it.
Yeah. I'm
like on purpose trying to sedate myself to lower my metabolic rate just so I can grow off less calories.
And a lot of people, a lot of these kids don't eat enough protein. They're all still, I have people come to me all the time and they fill out the intake. They're like, how much protein are you eating? And they'll be eating like 1 gram per pound of body weight, or it's like, I'm eating like 220 grams. And it's like, if you think that eating 220 grams of protein is hard, find a different fucking lifestyle. Like, you're not going to go far in bodybuilding.
Bro, that's 4 meals.
It is 4. I mean, I have like 75 grams in a meal.
You have 75 grams of protein per meal?
Yeah, we're at 360. I was at 450 in one off season. That was fucking hell. But the point is that a lot of these kids just eat a lot of shit and a lot of high fats and carbs, and they just keep their protein lower. Keep your protein fucking high.
Yeah.
And, fill in the rest of the calories, caloric intake with the other shit, the carbs, the fats. Mm-hmm. But having a higher protein, in my opinion, is going to produce better results at the end of the day. Especially as you build more tissue, too. I remember I made a video about this, too, on TikTok, and Greg just made a video of me saying that I made that up. Said because I said most bodybuilders eat over 300 grams of protein, which they all fucking do. Go to fucking Muscle and Strength and watch any bodybuilder's diet. They're all eating like well over
Even
300
men's
grams
physique
protein.
pros.
Yeah, he's like, I made that up. He's just trying to be different. It's fucking yapper. He's just yapper, just saying shit for no reason. What he's fucking talking about.
Fucking A. Next question. What age should you hop on if you want to be a pro?
What age should you hop on if you want to be a pro?
Yeah, this guy just turned 18. He started training 3 years ago.
Ugh, this is not a good question to answer.
Okay, next.
It's not a responsible question to answer because the real answer isn't responsible, and I don't want to give the real answer. We know the real answer.
Yeah. This gentleman would like to know if you would coach him for lifestyle rather than bodybuilding, aka do you just coach bodybuilding or do you also coach lifestyle?
The majority of my clients are lifestyle clients.
Apparently these motherfuckers don't know that, so look into the camera and say, if you'd like to.
If you want to be coached for lifestyle, you can apply for coaching through the link in the description. And if you're a hard worker and financially stable, you just might qualify and we can work together.
What are some ways to gain more clients as a coach?
Ooh. Well, obviously,
Knowledge.
testimonials is the strongest one. But if you don't have any fucking clients, you don't have any testimonials. So one way you could get started is by offering coaching services for a low rate or honestly for free. For like the thing with coaching like friends and family is a lot of the times. Especially if you coach them for free, they kind of just take advantage of it and don't put full effort, and they'll like bullshit you, and it just like it doesn't help. It sounds like it doesn't help you at all, really, if you're just giving people this help and they're not, getting anything back to you. So you got to be careful with that. Mm-hmm. But it's just you can offer to help people for free, or you can do it for a low rate just to get some testimonials, some experience in, learning how to be good at sales. A lot of people don't realize that. How do I phrase this? It doesn't matter how good of a coach you are. That's a sad reality. It doesn't matter. You could be the best coach in the industry. If you don't know how to market yourself and you're not good at generating sales, you will not be successful. So you need to learn how to become an entrepreneur first. Mm-hmm. And obviously, the better coach you are, that's ideal, right? You want to be a good coach, you don't want to be a shitty coach, but there's a lot more shitty coaches that are successful because they're good at marketing than there are actual good coaches that are successful because they're actually good at coaching. Yeah. So, there's like business mentors and shit, but you got to be careful. Some of them are sketchy, but I've worked with some before, and it has honestly helped me, like learning some of that stuff when I was younger and learning, what kind of content you want to put the direction in, like learning what your target audience really is. Like, do you want to target bodybuilders? Do you want to target, just lifestyle? Do you want to do both? Do you want to target older women? Because it's like there's so many different ways you can go about it, and you got to narrow in on that if you really want to, grow your business. So it's just learning.
The ins and outs
of business, really. And I'm sure there's tons of information on YouTube. You can look at that too as well. There's YouTube University, but
literally,
put up, educational content. Provide value in your content. A lot of people like just post their physique and shit, and have the intentions of becoming a coach. They want to become a coach, but they're acting just like a fitness influencer. Yeah. And some people might fall for that, but most people aren't. You're not going to make a lot of money if you just post pictures of your physique and don't say anything, because people don't know if you know what the fuck you're talking about. You haven't given people a reason to trust you. So again, this all comes down to experience too, because everybody wants to turn 18, become a coach, start posting shit on TikTok, act like they know what we're talking about, but you actually need to know what you're fucking talking about and be able to back that up. So gain the experience, then provide the content, provide the value, put shit out there for free so that people are willing to invest into you eventually, and it comes back to you all down the road.
Yeah. It's a nice answer. Good job.
Yeah.
So, if you weren't a coach, if you weren't a bodybuilder, and you had to do this all over again, life, start from scratch. What are you doing?
What do you mean? I would do the same shit, no?
If you couldn't do bodybuilding.
If I couldn't.
Yeah, if you couldn't do, let me rephrase that. If you couldn't do bodybuilding and you couldn't be a coach, and you had to start from scratch, what would your next thing be? I feel like I know the answer.
I would go into film.
Yeah.
That was the original plan. That's what I would do. I would be doing something within film, 100%.
Would you be in front of the camera, behind the camera?
The original plan when I was younger was I wanted to be an actor. And then my best friend, Matt, Matt.
Yeah.
Matt told me that was gay. So then I stopped acting when I was like 11 or 10 because Matt said it was gay.
Fuck you, Matt.
So that ending my acting career.
Right there, one
But,
line.
you know, I was always into film. I've seen probably fucking the majority of movies that exist, and I think like where it would lie now is just like direction, maybe.
Yeah.
Honestly, I think that's the direction that I would go, is becoming a director.
What is your main priority for when you commence your next off season?
We just answer this. The injury? Or are you talking about? What do you mean?
Like, what is your main priority for your next off season in terms of your physique?
Oh, bringing up my back. Back has been the priority for years. Like everything else just has grown accordingly, but the back is just what needs to come up the most. Calves are always priority. They've been a priority for 10 years. Triceps, rear delts, probably those are things I think I need to bring up the most to be the most balanced, and just get fucking huge. Really, I want to be able to basically fill out the weight cap next time I step on stage. So I got to be right around 185 on stage. I think I'd be 187 max, but right around there. So I got to get down to there for weigh-ins, but fill out, be even over that. Could be like in the 190s.
What are your thoughts and opinions about teenagers hopping on steroids at such an early age?
Oh, it's bad. It's not good. You don't want teenagers messing up their hormones, but honestly, most of them have low tests, so they're better off.
Wow. Yeah, that was me.
Yeah. That was you?
Yeah.
You wrote that?
No, that was me, as in like the example.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
No, it's not good. I mean, what are you gonna do? People are gonna do what they want. Kids were eating D-ball like candy in the 80s.
Yeah, so it doesn't really matter. They did it then, they'll do it now.
Yeah, they'll do it. They'll do whatever they want. You know, people are gonna take the risks that they're willing to take, and they'll either be smart about it or they'll be idiots and deal with the consequences later in life. I'm not gonna say I'm supportive of teenagers taking gear, but I'm supportive of free will.
America. All right, most important question in this entire Q&A, apparently. Also known as the best question. How many cats do you have, and what are their names?
I got 3 cats. Their names are Kodak, as in Kodak Black, because he's a black cat. Melfi, Dr. Melfi, specifically from The Sopranos. And then Avalanche Gizmo Burka. She's the rag doll.
So that's what AVA stands for.
Avalanche, yeah.
I always just thought it was Ava.
No, it's Avalanche, because she's white like snow, so Avalanche. But then Gizmo, because she looks like a gremlin.
Wow, that's really good.
It is good, right?
That's so good. All right, back to these questions. You could just rapid fire these at this point. How can you tell your realistic genetic potential, and after how many years do you think you'll hit it?
I mean, if you got fucking great genetics, you'll honestly know within like the first 2 years. I mean, you can see some of these kids.
Yeah.
They train for 2 years and look fucking insane. Everybody thinks they're a fake natty. Like I have a couple clients that everybody thinks they're fake natties. They're not. But I mean, that doesn't mean that you don't have good genetics if you don't look like that in the first 2 years. Everybody progresses at different rates. Progress is not always linear. So I mean, realistically, like within the first 5 years, if you're doing shit correctly, like actually putting in the work, training correctly, following a diet, you'll know what you're working with after about 5 years.
What are your goals for 2024?
My goals are to alleviate my pain and be able to function like a normal human and continue to help people and coach and grow the business and build muscle. That's really what it comes down to. And also get out of this fucking house.
Who was your biggest inspiration when you started lifting?
The one person that I listened to a lot was Greg Plitt.
Yeah.
That's who I listened to a lot.
Ski wants to know if you watch any anime.
I do not.
Yeah.
Do not watch anime.
Anime's gay.
Uh-oh. You're going to trigger them. They don't like that. They don't like when you slander the cartoons. I don't like that. I'm Baki.
I was completely joking, by the way. I just wanted that reaction. All right, last question.
Is it good?
Yeah, sure. I just made it up. Why do you bodybuild?
What the fuck? What is this? I started bodybuilding because it's like brushing my teeth. Like, I just grew up around fitness. I would go to the gym. My mom worked at the gym, and I would do like P90X and shit at home for fun. And then I knew some dude at the gym who was one of those motherfuckers who had freak genetics and looked huge when we were like 16. I was 13. I was like, oh, what do you do? He's like, go to the Y. So I went to the Y. I lied about my age, got a membership, trained with him. It hurt like a motherfucker, and I just went with him for a week. And I was like, this is it. I'm gonna get fucking huge. And it just became my daily habits. I started working at a supplement store and just got deeply involved into the industry. So when Men's Physique first started, then Sadiq and then them all came out. I was like, oh, these guys look good. Then I wanted to pursue that. Just something that evolved because I was around it, and I just got more deeply into the industry, and it just is basically like
Consumed you.
Yeah, it just consumed me. It consumed me. It consumed my spine. It took everything from me and left me with
sciatica
nerve damage in both legs, and a road to Ronnie Coleman.
Was it worth it?
Absolutely. All right, guys, that's all for today's Q&A. Hope you guys enjoyed it. If you have any more questions, drop them down in the comments. Maybe we'll do another Q&A. If you want me to do one, just let me know. Make sure you like the video and make sure you are subscribed. We got to hit 20K or else
Marissa gets a haircut.
Marissa gets a haircut. No.
She's going bald.
Yeah. Marissa said if I don't hit 20K subscribers, she's going to, she's going to shave her head, and can't have two of us.